Hey guys, it's John with ReelBlue Custom Rods and welcome back to the channel. Hey, so I recently did a video on how to do this 3D chevron wrap or reverse chevron wrap, and you can see that link up here in the upper right hand corner if you guys are interested in watching that video. But in this video today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about wrapping off or tying off your wraps. I've done it before in a previous video as well, quite a while ago, probably a year and some change ago. So I figured maybe I would just do a different updated version of that, but you can see that old video here in the upper right hand corner. And then now we'll get started on the new video. So thanks for joining me. So as you can see, I've got a couple of things going on here. And one of the things that I actually want to do is probably finish this wrap, which for one of my first wraps I did to lay down my cross wrap, I used this light gold 9160 metallic pro wrap. So what I want to do is I want to use this and basically wrap off my upper part of the upper part of this wrap. And so I'm going to go down with one wrap on each axis, the blue and the red axis, on both the black and the gunmetal thread colors here, if you will. So again, just one wrap. Going to go through, pull that tight. Come back here, do this again. This time we're going to go down on the blue axis of the black thread. So first I went down on the red. Now I'm going down on the blue axis with that black thread. And then when I get down here to the end, I'm going to come back, and I'm not even going to cut it this time. I'm just going to wipe it around since I'm doing the second one. And we're going to come down on the red axis for the gunmetal, and that is taking this wrap to a whole nother level, guys. Whole nother level, I think. Kind of completes it. So you get a little bonus material from the previous video when I showed how to make that wrap. And I'm just going to stay on just because I'm going back. Oh, actually, no, I got to cut it. I'm sorry. So we'll cut it here. And we'll come back to the top. Once I get this thread to stay there, here we go. We'll come back up here to the top. And we'll do one more wrap. This time we're going to come down on the blue axis of the gunmetal colored thread. And I'm telling you, this tape and this metallic thread have been giving me a run for my money here. All right, so keep going down. All right, that's good. Now what we'll do is we're going to cut that. Make sure that sticks. Okay, stay on there. And then what I will do is probably put one thin piece of tape on that just to make sure we're good. Then I'm going to do is come in here with my burnishing tool. And I'm going to pack this thread just as real lightly, just making sure I got it right where I want it. Not a lot of pressure, so it shouldn't be too hard to move this light color gold thread And we're going to come back on the blue axis, do the same thing. And now we're going to go down on the red axis. All right, and then same thing going down on the blue axis. And that's it. All right, so now that I have that trim done that I wanted to get on there, now I'm going to come back. I'm going to use some regular nylon thread and size D thread. So regular nylon thread is going to help me cover up better than a NCP or a color fast thread would do. So I'm going to use regular nylon thread, of course, a dark color. So I'm choosing black. Plus it's, the color scheme of this build that I'm doing. Get it here on my hand wrapper. And then what I'm going to do is pick out a spot. I have enough. There we go. Don't want too much tension. Then I'm going to pick out a spot. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right through here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start wrapping this over. These threads here. I'm going to use my burnishing tool. And I don't want to move them too much. I want to get a few wraps, and then I want to give that a tug and tighten that down. And I'm going to keep wrapping. Again, pull a little tight there. And I'm going to wrap and use my burnishing tool to make sure I'm keeping those threads packed. And I like to have this pretty tight, if you will. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this working end off. And I'm going to take this down quite a bit here, almost down to the end of this gold. And I'm making sure that I get this wrapped on nice and tight, because what I don't want to happen are these black metallic and gunmetal metallic threads to kind of spiral loose a little bit once I cut them. I do not want that to happen. So I'm going to make sure we wrap that nice and tight. That's why I'm keeping my tension rod kind of tight here. All right, so wrapping this down. And I'm going to take it down just before that tape, that masking tape. which I'm getting pretty close to being at that point. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go ahead and cut it, because what I don't want to do is cross over onto the masking tape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my razor blade and I am going to start to cut these threads. And I'm kind of forcing that tip of the blade up, because what I'm not trying to do is scratch or nick this blade. Or excuse me, blank. So then I can come in with a razor blade. Spin this around and kind of work with these threads. And I don't want to pull because they're still connected here. So if I pull, I run the chance of cutting some of these threads or pulling on these threads, which could not be good, right? Which could cause me to pull them out. So I'm just working that off. Again, taking that right across the top, not digging into my blank. And then what I want to do is I can come in here with my razor blade. We can cut those threads like that. Right on that tape, not a lot of pressure. We're just cutting through the thread. All right, that allows us to come back down here and then take this tape off with all these thread pieces in there. I want to make sure that I'm good and I've got all that cut off. All right. Now what we could do is we could come back in here on some of these longer threads, cut those off. I know my string has kind of gone over, or my thread has gone over back on top. Now I want to grab this piece of tape. Take that off nice and easy. And now all I want to do is I want to just wrap this down a little bit, get over that gold part of that wrap there. And then what I want to do is take my burnishing tool and just straighten out these threads so they're not crossed. Just like that. And now all we're going to do is just take the burnishing or your burnishing tool, pack the threads, and then continue to wrap those down. We can even come in here and cut some of these a little shorter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this down past that point where that thread is at. And because I'm wrapping over this wrap, this decorative wrap, what I am going to do once I get over this last thread here is I am going to come over. There we go. So now I'm over that thread. Now all I'm going to do is get this on the bottom side where I want it. I'm going to switch over to a different burnishing tool. I'm just trying to make sure. There we go. And now I'm just going to wrap back to the right or towards the tip of the rod with this double overwrap. And I'm just making sure I'm covering where some of that gold thread was at. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down a little bit more, all the way just down to the end here. And then we're going to tie this off. Come back up underneath the bottom. All right. And then come up here. Pull that down tight. We'll cut that working end off right there. And then again, because I use regular nylon thread, when I put my finish on that, that's going to seep down through there and lock that in nice and tight. And that's really how you lock in a decorative wrap. And then I would just do the same thing down on the far end. So hey, I hope this video helps. I'm not done. There are some things I'm going to do. I'm going to do some different techniques and give it some other little character here. But I hope this video helps. I hope it shows you you learn how to lock down a decorative wrap if you didn't know how to do it. Make sure you hit the like button. If you got something out of the video, feel free to share it with somebody you might find it useful. And as always, thank you for your continued support to the channel and the ReelBlue Custom Rods. Until next time, guys, Make sure you guys watch this next video here. And until next time, take care. Bye.